Okay, let's see. Preschool gender propaganda class. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The institutions, the traditions of America, their prime directive is to tear every single one of those down. There was some Valentine's Day ad, and I saw, and it was like 4 pictures put in a little block, and it was 2 guys kissing, giving a little Valentine, a black dude and a white chick, an Asian and some other, and that was their happy Valentine's Day. Just drive it in. Because again, they need to destroy everything we've ever held near and dear to us as Americans. Every institution, every tradition needs to be torn down right in front of your face, by the way, with a little snide chuckle as they're doing it, as they're replacing the wholesomeness of heterosexual relationships, and they tear it down and say how bad it is. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. We've seen it, commercials, TV shows. Never ends, just never ends. And it never ends in the classrooms, right from preschool, right up until they're spit out the other end of some ridiculous indoctrination center college. All those years of brainwashing. Unless you are a very involved parent that on a daily basis takes your kid aside when they get home from school and deprograms them and lets them know that a lot of what they're learning in there is not what they should be learning in school. Did you learn math today? English, real history, science, real science? Or did you sit in a class as some freak at the blackboard told you how there's no such thing as men and women, and is that it? You know, parents have to become deprogrammers to this because it's so rampant. So here's a preschool gender propaganda as I see it.
Huckleberries is my friend Nash. It's their first day in our class. They're just looking around at all of you, and they're so curious to know who you all are. And the friend likes to ask the question, are you a boy or a girl? And Nash answers, I'm just a kid.
Pause, please. The kids didn't ask, hey, is your little dolly there a boy or a girl? Did you notice that? Because that's very important here. This isn't somebody answering a child's question about the dumb doll's sexuality, because it would never come up. The kid, they don't give a play with toys or ask dumb questions. Why does your hair look like a Lego person? Maybe that. They don't care what the dolly sees himself as, a boy or a girl. But it was important to this. It was important that the kids have to now be involved in this conversation in a preschool. This is the inch mile. This is the give them an inch, take a mile. Every turn. Can we just love who we want to love? All right. Can we get married? Okay. Can we adopt kids? Oh, God, all right. Can we start teaching tolerance in schools so we don't get bullied and beat up? Yeah. Can we indoctrinate your children with our dangerous it? We just let them do this. We kept saying yes. because to say no was intolerant and bigoted. And now you got this making these preschool kids have to believe that you can be a boy or a girl or neither or both or whatever the They should not be thinking about this. They should be using their minds and their imagination as they wander around the classroom and make up little scenarios with toys and getting into maybe an altercation with one of the other kids and figuring out how you solve those problems at such a young age. Educating them to shapes and colors. That was preschool. Not, hey, I'm going to pull a doll out and put it on you that is it a boy or a girl? And then confuse the living out of you by coming up with some cockamamie answer. This is insanity, people. Roll them.
But kids can be boys or
They can be boys or girls. Yeah.
Or maybe non-binary.
Yeah. Yeah, just like me. So Nash, just like me, is non-binary. So they aren't sure if they're a boy or a girl. So when people ask them, are you a boy or a girl? Right now they just feel like saying, I'm a kid. They're figuring it out.
Why does he like stars?
They like...
Pause again. Why does he like stars? They like stars. See the dumb question the kid asks? It has nothing to do with what this monster is trying to influence these kids with. She's trying so hard to drive it into these kids' heads. You don't have to be a boy or a girl. You don't have to decide now. You're just a kid. And any one of you could... And the kid's like, does he like stars? Still calling it a he. Calling the doll a he. And does he like stars? Nothing to do with the sexuality. I like stars. Does the dumb like stars? And it's not enough. This monster has to double down, dig in, and get into that kid's head. This is indoctrination. I defy you to debate that. Roll them.
Stars.
They like stars.
Yeah. And they are really... They wore their star shirt because it's their favorite shirt, and because they were nervous today, they thought they would wear something that makes them feel special. This, Huckleberries, is my...
Crazy. That is Soviet Union era propaganda in a classroom. And I think the Soviets, it wasn't as harmful because it was all about country and leader and strength and nation. But I mean, you have a teacher in there whose sole purpose to me seems to be to drive this agenda into those malleable, impressionable little skulls of these children. That isn't just having to answer a child's question, which even in that case, I think the teacher has to show a lot of restraint in how they answer a question about sexuality by a kid that age, especially because it might conflict with what the parents are teaching that kid. So a very generic base answer is probably what the teacher should do. And that's only if the kid approaches them with such a unique question for a child of that age to even be asking. Because like I said, most of them are just running around with and they want to play with one of the toys. They're not asking questions of sexuality. They are very aggressively going after those kids, presenting it to them as part of the curriculum. Here's a doll, and they don't know what they are. Who asked you? Which one of those kids asked? And then the kids are referring to the doll as he the whole time. Does he like stars? Why is he wearing that shirt? And then the dummy teacher keeps going, they like the shirt. They like stars. Just pound it into their head enough. And then the next day go on to another level 2 and pound it into their heads. That isn't answering their questions. And I guarantee it is directly contradicting what some of these kids' parents are trying to instill in them at home. And they're just confusing the kids. A kid that age is not ready to try to deal with such a strange, vague, kind of abstract process and thought, like a boy. They know boy and girl. They barely just found out that there are boys and girls. And if the parents want their kids to look at other kids as boys and girls, you have no right to come in there with your dyke hair and undermine what the parents are trying to teach their kids. This is what's going on in schools. There's the battleground. The schools are the battleground where the kids are being indoctrinated, and they will come out the other end of these schools spitting the same, carrying the signs, and talking people as being Nazis. That's where it starts, right there. That's your little Hitler Youth Indoctrination Center. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. This goes on. And the second you say something about it, or you show up at one of these committee meetings or PTA things and you have a problem, you are looked at like the worst bigoted piece of crap that set foot in their little PTA meeting. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Propaganda. Propaganda. Oh, this is interesting. Here's an aggressive trans activist, by the way. The trans violence is really showing these days, isn't it? Because they're mentally ill. They're the men who profess to be women, they put dresses on and they put a little ponytail in their male pattern balding hair, and they smear some makeup on, and then they want to be accepted as women. And you better look at them as if they're women and not the monsters, the jokes, the laughing stock that they really are, walking around in high heels. And when you don't refer to them as real women, they get very angry. And because they're mentally ill, they have this aggression, this male aggression, that they just can't hide. They can't feminize that. They walk around, they try to do the high voice. They try to be dainty. But there's no quelling, no squashing down that man that is absolutely in there, that is angry, sometimes homicidal. And they've been, knocking off a few people these days. We just had that episode up in Canada. And it is a mental illness. And then you pump these hormones into them, and then they look at a mirror and realize that it ain't working. And they're setting themselves up for disappointment and anger. And it has to be taken out on someone. They can't blame themselves because most of them are narcissists. They can't blame themselves, so they lash out at the people that are to blame. And those are people that don't play their dumb game. They don't look at them and go, oh, you're beautiful. What a wonderful gal you are. So that's why you get these women that are like, it's ma'am, and they're all pissed off. They're dangerous. They're dangerous, dangerous things. So here's a trans-identified man stabbed his 8-year-old daughter in the throat, severing her esophagus. He also stabbed his 7-year-old boy. His daughter required a feeding tube for months, but a judge let him out on bail, pending sentencing. This guy's out and about, pending sentencing. Now, you see this show up in your courtroom. This person has attempted to murder 2 children. How do you find anything that would lead you to, let's let him out into the general public until sentencing? Look at this mental patient.
I think it's wild that people are like, we're going to find you and we're going to get you. I'm like, yo, I am a mentally unstable person who lives in a minivan and I need a full psychiatric assessment. Like, I go around people when I have to. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. I think it's safer for the community the less time people are around me. Why would you come up to someone who did what I did and harass them? People don't actually, but they threaten to, right? And I think that's just wild. Anyway, good morning. It's Alice Michael. Mwah. Peace, love, and unicorn.
A judge saw that standing in front of their bench, looked at the facts of the matter. This person stabbed his 8-year-old daughter and stabbed his 7-year-old son. And that judge said, let him go, let him out. Is it me? Am I wrong here? Am I not seeing something, or I'm seeing something else? Because I don't know, maybe I'm not as rational as I thought I was. Maybe there's a bunch of people, the majority of people, that look at that guy and say, no, Anthony, he should be out amongst the general population. He should be released pending sentencing for stabbing his children. So maybe it's me. I don't know. We live in a strange world these days. So I have to kind of look within myself maybe for some flaws and think maybe I'm just wrong here. But I don't think I am. I see a mental patient like this that tried to kill 2 children. And I think they should be summarily dispatched immediately. Immediately. Now, the only thing I can consider why the judge might have done something like this is that the judge thought, if I let this out, someone will kill him. Someone will kill this person and everything will be taken care of. I'm off the hook. That's the only reasonable reason for the judge to let this out, is that they're going to make videos. People will look around and say, I know where they are. They will go and murder this person. And the judge is like, I'm good with that. So, all right, pending a sentencing, you're out. And we'll see what happens. Because that was a horror movie, by the way. I don't give a what? Buffalo Bill? Buffalo Bill was a crazy homicidal tranny. You know, that is much more frightening than Buffalo Bill. Yeah. Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. That in that video, if you imagine just sitting, that's your point of view, sitting in a van with the doors locked, you're zip stripped behind your back, your hands, and that is saying exactly what they said in that video to you, you'd be yourself. That is a horror movie scene. and this running around, and you knew that they had tried to kill their kids. And now you're sitting there, and I'm out in the... Holy mackerel. They're insane. They're insane. And they are amongst us. They walk amongst us. I don't know, man. Let's see. Here's an aggressive trans activist apparently calling a reporter the N-bomb a couple of times. And more threats being made on Trans Monday, I think, is a new feature we'll have to do because there's so many trans violence and crazy people stories. So here's an aggressive trans activist.
I have the picture of your kid on here, by the way. You want to see? You like that?
If anyone even to harass, go near, or touch her or my stepdaughter, you will be killed. If you try to even to my stepdaughter, I will kill you.
Hello?
Quit calling my phone.
Who the are you?
You know who the this is? Quit calling my cell phone.
Who are you?
It's Donald.
Oh. You mean the guy has like a cease and desist again?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all
Well,
nuts.
basically, you need to watch what you
I'm
fuck.
gonna fucking kill
You could just
That's not even
take this off. I don't even know what this is, but they're all crazy. Like he's got one eye going this way. Who is this? And he's talking to that tranny. But while I agreed with some of what the tranny was saying when they walked out of the building, the threats are they're just constant. Threats of violence. These people are mentally ill. The fact that they believe they are women when there is no indication, physically or mentally, that they are women is a mental illness. I've said it before. There are these unicorn-like anomalies where these men are born and from day one, there was some type of genetic mix-up. I believe that is possible. And I've made the number 4. 4 actual transgender men to women exist on the planet Earth. And they look like women. They act like women. Mentally, they're women. They talk like women. Everything, maybe the hands are a little large, but that's it. 4 on the whole planet at any given moment. That's how rare the actual transgender man to woman is. Everyone else claiming to be trans is crazy insane with a potential for violence that comes out when you don't play the game and call them their proper pronouns and address them as a man, make fun of them. Don't look at them with lust in your eyes when you see them walking around in some spicy clothes. That's what's happening. They are all crazy. And the fact that we've reached a point in this country where they are coddled to the point where you can't criticize them is madness. Because all it's done is embolden them and made them even more violent when somebody does come up and say, you're a man. You're a man. You are a man. Yeah, that's going on, the violence in that trans community. And Black History Month, as we finish up here, the Atlanta airport, this is the latest in the thousands of videos that from various airports around the world. Here in this country, you could see it happen at Spirit Gates, perhaps Frontier, Southwest, and you will see problems. Here you see a young black woman It's people coming off the plane. They're coming off the plane, deplaning at the gate. And she stands in front of that to stop them. I could not tell you the that would be coming out of my mouth if I had to stop at the gate after I had left the plane, gone through the jetway. I got to piss. I got my carry-on and my backpack. I'm just looking to get an Uber and get the going. And some black mental patient maniac is stopping us from leaving the jetway at the gate. I couldn't tell you the flying out of my mouth. You could probably figure it out. Let's watch.
Who's she waiting on now? Because everybody came down on the phone. Oh, they not?
She's stopping people.
But why don't we have a police waiting on her? Oh, she coming?
Move your dumb black.
They know it's me. Her.
Beat her. Let her go.
Those two. Oh, they know you ain't gonna sit again.
Then they shut the door? All because some ratchet has a problem with one of the hoes that are getting off the plane? Could you imagine? A flight, you just want to maybe take that piss. Just when you get to the airport, when you've landed and all the, we'll wait for our gate and wait for the jetway and all the people getting their, and then you're finally there. You're rolling your bag up the jetway. There's the door. Finally, now you can get back to everything you need to do to finish your trip. The Uber, the piss, the baggage carousel, if you checked bags, the Uber, drive, yeah, coming in from New York, yeah. And then the hotel, how you doing? Or home, you home, thanks. Get in, unpack, whatever it is. That's the beginning of your freedom from the plane. And this ratchet is doing what they do and delaying you by any amount of time. I don't give a 3 seconds. I am going to start saying some and a lot of it might start sounding like me yelling at a video game. If you get my drift. Unreal. That's what we're dealing with. That's the better America, by the way. That, as Joe Biden put it, that's the better minority white America is a better thing than majority white America. Imagine that scene at every gate, in any airport. How do you not deny it's better than a bunch of civil, courteous people, not dressed in their pajamas, getting off a plane, being courteous to each other? Hey, you need a hand with that. This lie that diversity is a strength and that less white people in this country is a good thing is one of the most blatant, obvious lies, but it's also so widespread. So many people are running with this obvious lie. There's nothing anyone can show you that proves that a less populated white country, less white people in this country makes it a better country. Not one thing. You could find proof to the contrary. Absolutely find proof that it's not a good thing. But no proof that it is a better country. But they keep saying it, and dumb white fucks keep cheering it on. Right up until it's you. It's you not getting the job. It's you that can't, your power doesn't go on at night because white people aren't running the infrastructure anymore. You're freezing cold. You're boiling hot. There's your minority white America that you're cheering on. Dumb fucks. Dumb bunch of fucks. All right, kids, we'll be back tomorrow. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.